We oppose government control of our financial institutions and corporations. We reject the socialization of our healthcare system. Mr. Obama is wrong when he says that we are partners with God in matters of life and death. We condemn the appointment of so-called czars that have no constitutional legal right to exist in our government. We believe that the people coming into this country should do so legally or face immediate legal consequences, including deportation. We need to secure the borders of our country. There are still people out there that want to see us dead. Everyday citizens are becoming vital in the part of the democratic process by demanding from our elected officials accountability, responsibility, and honest representation. The Obama administration, in my opinion, poses a clear and present danger to the Constitution of the United States and the Bill of Rights. This is what I pledge my allegiance to. The biblical principles upon which this country are founded are just as valid today as they were 233 years ago. The future of this flag and the destiny of our country is in the hands of we the people. We the people are gathered here around this country today to make it clear that we've had enough. You are the real American heroes that have shown up today, and in Washington and all around this country. Many of us never thought about being politically active. The current administration may actually be the best thing that ever happened to us. President Obama and his socialist agenda, along with his radically left policies, have unwittingly triggered a social and political movement that's been unparalleled in our lifetime. His associations with admitted terrorists like Bill Ayers and hate mongers like Jeremiah Wright should have been our first clue that Barack Obama was unfit to lead this country to a fast food restaurant, much less lead us out of an economic collapse. After appointing self-avowed communists to serve in his administration and hiring tax cheats and radical left-winged activists to apply chief positions in government, he wants us now to trust him with our health care. Obama makes a lot of mistakes. He's sympathetic to murderous dictators like Hugo Chavez. He remained silent and offered no hope and change to the people of Iran when they initiated a failed revolution against tyranny. He believes that he can sit down and have a beer and reason with deranged madmen like Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. You cannot reason with someone who is bent on bringing about the apocalypse with nuclear holocaust. The world is a very dangerous place. China has just opened up a new huge nuclear submarine base and is acquiring missiles while Iran gets closer and closer to nuclear status. The Russian bear that invaded Georgia last December is still an unknown quantity in the world equation. North Korea is developing a longer-range missile system and recently has had a lot of harsh words for us. The Bipartisan Commission of the Prevention of Weapons of Mass Destruction unanimously found out last December that terrorists would have nuclear or bioweapons within the next 5 years. Our neighbors in northern Mexico are growing closer to anarchy because of the drug cartels. These and other problems that are global in scope are being overlooked or ignored by this administration because this president is too involved in a domestic power grab that threatens to swallow our democracy in a tsunami of socialism and communist ideology. There is a bill heading toward Congress right now proposed by Democratic Representative Jose Serrano of New York that proposes to remove term limits for the presidency, repealing the 22nd Amendment to the Constitution of our United States. God help us if it ever passes. I believe in term limits for both houses. I believe they should serve 2 terms in Congress and 1 term in prison. The government now owns 80% of AIG, 30% of Citigroup, 60% of General Motors, and making strides right now to own our healthcare system. This administration has replaced our Bill of Rights with a Bill of Goods, and I ain't buying it. We can no longer stand idly by and let the government just operate without consequence. We can no longer stay silent when we see the seeds of self-destruction being sown into the sacred ground of our democracy. The political left cannot understand the Tea Party movement. They called us Tea Partiers, conservative town hall attendees. They called us AstroTurf, political terrorists, angry mob, likened us to Nazis and white supremacists. They dismiss us out of hand when they see this movement, and they view us with disdain and condescension. They say this movement is a politically orchestrated movement by the Republican Party and well-funded. Elizabeth, how well-funded are we? I've got 2 minutes left. Are you still with me? The political left claims that we take orders from talk show hosts and we're funded by a political machine, but I want to tell you something. Free people don't need a leader. Free people are leaders. When our liberty is being threatened and our economy is being sabotaged, I don't need Sean Hannity to tell me how to feel. When our government grows into a ravenous monster devouring the substance of the people that it's supposed to protect, I don't need Rush Limbaugh to tell me what to do. When I see my country being subverted by radical left-wing activists in the White House and see the beginnings of a socialist European America, it doesn't take Glenn Beck to call me to action. You see, the Democrats were betting that we're too stupid to read the omnibus bill with its 9,000 earmarks. Our representatives and senators banked on the belief that we would just shut up and get out of the way when it came to our health care. What scares them the most is the realization that we are intelligent, informed, and articulate, and we believe in what we're doing. We're not the mindless mass of sheep that they hoped would follow their lead without question. I read House Bill 3200, and when it's my turn to walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I want God's hand on the plug, not Ezekiel Emanuel's. My wife will let me know when I've outlived my usefulness. I don't want that decision to be made by a panel of bureaucrats that are weighing the value of my life against a balance sheet in some office in Washington. I, for once, have been insulted for the last time by the arrogant aristocracy that call themselves congressmen. I will not shut up. I will not stand aside. I will not watch my country be dismantled brick by people that despise the unwashed masses. We have breached the hallowed halls of Congress and looked behind the curtain. There is no wizard in Oz, and there is no Messiah in Washington. The political holy of holies where our laws are made and the future of this great nation is determined has been revealed for what it truly is. Congress is largely made up of a collection of self-righteous career politicians who are too drunk on the liquor of their self-importance to hold down an honest job. If hot air leads to global warming, I suggest that both houses of Congress shut down immediately and give the earth a fighting chance. My last page, ladies and gentlemen. We're not second-class citizens. We are American citizens. And we demand that our voices be heard and our message be clearly understood. We demand that our elected officials surrender to us their undivided attention or their comfortable seat in Congress. America is in trouble right now, and she needs us more than ever. The time has now come for our conservative, God-fearing, family value-loving, freedom-fighting, gun-clinging, Tea Party-going, patriotic voices to be heard in Washington, D.C. God bless Texas and